Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? It's Friday. End of the week. My name is Graham Day. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. I am joined by the Italian Batman, the man that we call Baby. If you don't know why we call him the Italian Batman, I'm not going to give you any context. You just have to go and watch previous scoops. That's all I'm saying. How's things, babe? I'll read.
Yeah, man. Shagged.
I have to pick a bone with my missus. I was just about to tell you then, just before we started. And I've just cut you off. I've asked you how you were, but I was only asking so I could just angry vent. I had granola, like overnight oats, with some banana and peanut butter for breakfast. Chloe, who's on inset day today, teacher training day, first thing Danielle says when she gets up, would you like fried eggs on crumpets? I was like, where was my fried eggs on crumpets? So yeah. Cheers, babe. I'm joking. I actually enjoy the overnight oats. But yeah, anyway. Woosah. No jealousy here. No jealousy. Actually, speaking about eggs, can we do that? Is West here? Are we allowed to speak about eggs without West being in the chat? I don't know.
I've no idea, but I've never thought of putting a fried egg on a crumpet.
Yeah, me neither. But it's just like swapping it out for bread. It's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I did actually see some. I might have sent it to Samantha. It's someone that had like a bacon, sausage, and egg. Usually you'd have it on like a muffin or toast, something like that, but someone used a crumpet at the bottom, crumpet at the top. And I thought that is genius until the scalding hot butter starts to leak through the crumpet and then you end up burning your fingers off.
I imagine that could be stodge, like proper
Worth
stodge
it.
though. Yeah,
Absolutely worth it.
I'm not saying I won't give it a try, but I'd absolutely like, 2, please! Put them both down right here. What is everyone else having for breakfast or had for breakfast? Seeing as it's 10 a.m. ish. It's 5 to 11 nearly, but it's fine. It's all good. Morning, Mr. Clark. Morning, boys. Hope you're both good. Mr. T's here as well. Oh no, it's Gary Clark's evil twin, Gary Clark. Good morning, gents. How the devil are you doing? I don't do breakfast. I don't eat anymore. That's true, but you've lost like 1,000 kilos. So yeah. There is that. I mean, eating is all well and good if you're enjoying it and you feel good for it, but you've got to keep it in check. And if you don't, yeah, me neither. But if you do keep it in check, then you look like an absolute god, like Mr. T does. So GG's, Mr. T. Mr. T. GG's. Anyway, welcome in, everyone. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond, all compiled in what is the UK's #1 video game podcast. Even if we do say so ourselves, we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions of the biggest, the best, and the break stories from the world of video games. And when I say world of video games, I mean for the next month or so, it's going to be the world of the next generation of video games, because that's pretty much all it is, with a few things dotted in between. Anyway, we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions from all of those stories, and it's important that you give us those, because we're going to turn this into a podcast. That's a video that goes on YouTube and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. All of the good places. All of the, I mean, there's probably some of the good places, but you know, whatever. That's where ours is. Nice. And it's important if you're in the chat to make sure you use your voice, because everyone watching and listening on all those good places, they don't get the ability to speak to us right here, right now, live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. So if you are in the chat, please feel free to use your voice as we jump through the show, as Mr. T and Mr. C have already done, as they continue to argue. Dick, no, don't eat Dick either, but thanks for asking. I had Rice Krispies. I'm living the dream, says Gary. I mean, you can't go wrong with a bit of Snap, Crackle and Pop. Not what I've heard. Ooh, it's steady. I'm Dazlon, you not Dazlon. What? Good morning, Dazlon. Hey, I don't understand what that means, but anyway, good morning. Just a quick bit of an update. Obviously, we are going to jump into the scoop now. We'll go through the news stories from the last 24 hours. And then after this, we will have a double header of Masters of the League. That's our PC modded Master League from PES 2020. Not 2021, PES 2020. The reason for that is because we are playing on PC. We have gameplay patches, we have kits, we have new stadiums. All of the mods and after launch patches that aren't quite ready for 2021 right now. So we are going to continue that. We are near the end of the season, so it's all going to be pretty tense. 6 matches will be played, so feel free to jump in and join us for that. That's 2 episodes in one day. Nice. Good Dazlon. Good morning, gents. Hey, Gaga, how's things, dude? I'm Dazlon. No, I am. We're all Dazlon.
Morning, Dazlon. Morning, Shaggers. Oh, there's a lot of lads in here today. Good morning to you all.
Let's jump into the split screen. We can jump into the first story of the day. And if you had your eyes open yesterday, you will have seen a lot of videos. Dazlon for Prime Minister. Yeah. If you had your eyes open yesterday, you'd have seen a lot of discussion around this. So it's unsurprising that our first story of the day is, let me put it full screen, PlayStation 5's menu has finally been revealed. This is an 11-minute video that was released by Sony yesterday in an unannounced state of play, obviously pre-recorded, but there we go. So this is from Andy Robinson at VGC. The tagline says, PS5's UI puts emphasis on speed, ease of access, and built-in game guides. I'm going to hit play on it, but I am going to scroll down, so it's probably going to disappear straight off the screen anyway. So Sony has revealed the PlayStation 5's... Oh, okay, let me skip forward a little bit. We don't need to see the general stuff. There you go. You can see what it looks like. So Sony has revealed the PlayStation 5 system menu in an 11-minute video published on the PlayStation blog. The PS5 system menu is rendered at native 4K, with each game and media app using the additional space to receive its own large portion of the home screen. A significant emphasis is put on speed of access, with the PlayStation Store integrated directly into the home screen, and many menus able to be put picture-in-picture mode so they can be viewed without leaving a game. One of the new console's UI highlights is a new control center, which is said to provide immediate access to almost everything you need from the system at a single press of the PlayStation button without leaving your game. Let me skip forward just so if anyone hasn't seen. So there you go. This is... Oh, actually, I wanted to see that little transition. So this is what the menu looks like in 4K. There you go. If you're listening, then you can't see it. It's as simple as that.
That it is.
I mean, I could describe it, but it's probably not going to do it justice.
You can sign it, but they won't be able to see that either.
Okay, a large part of the control center is activities, which are displayed in the form of on-screen cards, which now show players new gameplay opportunities, things they missed, and allow them to jump directly into levels or challenges that they want to play. Activities can indicate how long a specific gameplay segment will take to complete, and even display a guide video, as was previously suggested by Sony Patents. Social features such as voice chat are also easily accessible from the control center, and players can even share their screens without leaving a game. Meanwhile, the DualSense controller's new Create button allows users to capture screenshots and video at up to 4K resolution. Sony's SVP of Platform Planning, Hideaki Nishino, said, "We believe your playtime is valuable and should be meaningful, and all the new features we are delivering are inspired by that concept and vision. The new UX introduces several new features designed to make your gaming experiences more fun, engaging, personalized, and social." He added, navigating the interface, switching between games, and hopping into online matches occurs quickly, as we rebuilt the entire software stack from the console to the network to bring you a truly next-generation experience. We believe the less time you spend waiting to interact with the system, the more time you will have to spend playing games. Kind of summarizes it. Did you go through this yesterday, Bib? Did you watch the video? I'm gonna keep it on screen and flick through some screenshots now whilst we talk.
I did watch little bits of the video. I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch it all. 11 minutes to try and keep my attention. I haven't got that kind of attention span. And I'm not... The only reason I didn't watch the whole 11 minutes is because I'm not actually that bothered about it. Like, I like the fact... All I need to know is from the UI, is it going to be as clunky as it was on the PS4? I mean, the 8.0 update has actually seemed to have sped the UI up. It just, every time you went to go to your friends, it'd take forever to load. And this is before the 8.0, and I know there was obviously a lot of errors with the 8.0 update for a lot of people, like not being able to access the friends list. But actually navigating through tiles, going through to your system settings, going through to the online store, it just used to take forever. But the 8.0 seems to have sorted that out. It seems to be a hell of a lot faster. As long as this navigates faster. One thing, though, I never actually looked how to do it, but when I used to share screenshots on the PlayStation 4 to, I don't know, to Twitter, or to, if I wanted to upload a clip, it would always close the game down, or I couldn't just share a specific clip. I'd have to. It's so hard to explain without me showing it. So, for instance, if I'm playing PES
Hmm.
and I scored a wonder goal and I click record, and it'd save the 5 minute clip. That's what I got it set to. If I wanted to upload that specific clip, I couldn't find anywhere to be able to upload it without creating a new clip beforehand, trimming it down, then reselecting the older clip first.
I don't get what
Do you
you
know what I
mean.
mean?
No.
It's really yeah, I'm making a really bad job of this, but so, I'll try to explain it. Well, I'll try to explain it again because I know I'm going to make a really bad job of it. So if I've scored a wonder goal and I've finished the match,
Hmm.
because obviously you can't upload the 5 second clip while you're playing the match because it'll just kick you out of the game. But at the end of the match, I would want to upload that clip. I'd go to storage, I'd trim it down to the 5 second clip from the 5 minute clip. I couldn't find a way in the dashboard for me to be able to upload that clip to Twitter or to YouTube or to whatever it was without like saving another clip beforehand. And I'd literally have to show you what I mean because I've been doing this wrong for like 7 years clearly. Because I couldn't go to the library, have the clip there, and then
Yeah.
just upload that specific clip. I'd have to create a new clip beforehand, then click change selection or whatever it is, and select the previous
Just
clip.
just
Then,
press your
then
share button again. So when you're in the capture gallery, when you're on the clip that you need, just press the share button once, and it instantly brings up, where would you like to share this clip? So you can clip it, you can trim it at that point in time if you want, or you can trim it previously and then just go to share. So once you're on it, just push the share button once, and that instantly goes, do you want to put this on Twitter? So I go, yeah, but I trim it before I'm in that bit. So if I've set mine to 15 minutes, so I'll have a 15-minute video. And then say if something in the last 10 seconds happens, I will then jump out of the game after the match, obviously, then go into that bit, trim it down to wherever I need it to be. So I usually ditch the whole video. So do you want to save it as a new file
yeah,
or whatever? So I'll save it as the same one, overwrite the previous file, and then once I'm on that video in the capture gallery, just press share once, and it goes on Twitter or Facebook. I don't
yeah.
even do Facebook anymore. So yeah, that's it. Just
That's the difference then, because I have the alternative controls. If I would just press share, regardless of what screen I'm on, it would just take a screenshot.
yeah, I don't know what you need to diddle then.
Yeah. So that because it was like double tap to record or press share to take a screenshot. And if you hold on, I have to hold the share button to be able to bring up the share menu. So whichever way I tried to do it, because that makes sense, and that's how I used to do it. But when I was like recording stuff, when I used to stream from a PlayStation and that, yeah, it's
I have it as
I couldn't get it to work.
press the share button once in game to either save the last 15 minutes of cached footage or save the screenshot. Press it twice in game to start recording from a particular point. So if I want to start recording now for something that we're just about to do, I'll double tap, and then when I'm finished, I can press it once more to stop. And then when I'm in the menu, I just press it once too. So one tap just brings up the menu for me. Double tap starts the recording.
Right. Yeah. See, I've got the old. I think there was 3 different versions, but I've got one of the alternate ones because of the way that I used to stream from my PlayStation. I kept on like ending the broadcast when I didn't mean to. So I had to change to the other ones. But yeah, that's why I haven't been able to do it. Then everyone else is like, yeah, just press share button, it'll fly up to Twitter within 2 seconds, and there's me fucking turning my broadcast off. I'm just not changing it in 5 years.
I mean, the good thing about the PS5, for anyone that watched the video, will have seen that you can. It does less. What's the word? What's the word that it uses? Like, it basically shelves your game, but there's a word that it uses.
I did see that thing on the Xbox though. That restart feature, that was pretty cool. Like I think who was it that did it? It was on a Borderlands game, and then they hopped into, I think it was NBA. Do you know where you can like leave one game, enter another, and it just pause where you was in the old game where you boot up the new one?
It's
And you
basically
can flick
like
between them.
a quick start sort of feature. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's the exact phrase for it, but yeah, it's that sort of thing, and it does
that's
that
pretty
with
cool.
6 different games as well. So you could have NBA
That's
2K paused, GTA paused, PUBG paused.
He's
And
pausing PUBG.
yeah, exactly. You did. But like, to be fair, actually, it takes you fucking forever to get into the menus after you've seen the Craft and Game Union logos and all that shit as well. So yeah, so you have all of those in a paused state and just a sleep state kind of thing, and it works over power cycling as well. So you can turn your Xbox off, then turn it back on, and you can jump straight back into where you were in your PGA playthrough or your or your GTA story line or whatever. It'll just jump you straight back in, which is badass. I mean, the PlayStation doesn't have that capacity, I don't think, in terms of 6 games, but what it can do in terms of the multitasking, it kind of reminds me of. I mean, I'm going to go old school phone sort of chat here because phones can do fucking multitasking shit, and they have been able to forever anyway. But it was like when phones got the ability to have like picture in picture or have multitasking apps, so you don't have to kill an app to open up another one. That's kind of what it reminds me about. I know on consoles, I know it's a pretty old thing, but it's something that we haven't had, and it's quite, because it's something we take for granted, it's a glaring omission. So one of the key things in that video, not that I'm going to use it very often, I have very, very rarely watched someone else's screen. So if Bibby's on PlayStation and he's casting his gameplay, screen share as they call it, that I think I've done that 3 times, maybe at the maximum, and that's one of them when I'd quit out of PUBG after dying by fat fingering the buttons and wanted to see the rest of my squad play. So my mate Nathan screen shared, and I watched the last 10 minutes on his. The other 2 were similar sort of things probably. Yeah. But it's so clunky and uses so much bandwidth and yeah. It's just effort. Whereas in this video, they showed you how easy it is to do. Someone can just share the gameplay really, really easily, and you can have that as picture-in-picture. So say if you're the kind of person that will work and has a Twitch stream on in the background, but you can continue on your work and have a Twitch stream on, or you have 2 Twitch streams on, you're that kind of person that can share their attention. You could be chatting along with your mate in the party stuff whilst watching their gameplay in there. So, I mean, jumping back as well to yesterday's conversation, we were basically saying who's spending their time in PlayStation parties. I don't believe it's going to usurp WhatsApp or anything like that, but I absolutely believe that PlayStation parties now can have up to 100 people in them, and you only ever create.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but that's it though. You only ever create a party now as just a specific voice channel. It's like a Discord channel, yeah. Duo's Discord channel. That's what we use it as. But PlayStation have clearly taken a look at WhatsApp and things like that, because they want it to be more than just an in-game voice chat. They want it to be your WhatsApp message group, so you can share screenshots and videos that you've just clicked from the new share button straight into parties. You can do the video share gameplay straight into the party. You can do text stuff. You can do voice to text, because obviously the controller's got a microphone in it. You can do TTS. So if I want to talk to Bibby in the chat, but can't be asked typing on a PlayStation controller, I can just press the button, use the built-in microphone in the DS5 controller, and go, "Bibby is a penis," and then it will text to speech it and put it straight into the chat. So I'm still not sure that I will use it to that extent, but it is good to show that PlayStation has changed their parties to not just be a clunky voice mechanism, but it is something that has learned from instant messaging services that have popped over the last 5 to 10 years, and now party chat isn't just an in-game function, it is more of a social function, which I think it kind of needs to be, really, with everything that they want to do with it going forward. Let's jump back through the chat though. Spike, good morning. He says, "Hello, just joining. Main question: have they announced any custom settings like folders? Because none of the screens seem to have folders, and for me this is one of the most important features of UI needs to allow me to sort my shit out." Do you know, that's a good question. I mean, I'll bring this up on screen again. So this is the dashboard now. I don't know if you actually, I need to click on something to get my mouse on screen. Wrong one. This one. So this is like the dashboard now. So obviously the PS Store there, whatever that is, that a quick launch, the game that you're in. So the Destruction All Stars, the Sackboy game, PlayStation Plus, Astro's Playroom, and all the rest along the top there. What if I don't want Destruction All Stars and Sackboy and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy and Astro Playroom? What if I just want PUBG and all the other games, or just PUBG, PES, and all the other games? Can I structure that? I do feel that is kind of useful, because then if you go a bit further on, you've got whatever that controller icon is. I can't remember what it is. another PlayStation symbol, the capture gallery thing. Then you have the library asset image over here on the end. I feel like you install Netflix and you install Prime Video and you install Disney Plus. Okay, well they're 3 more tiles. Can I put that in like a media and TV stuff? The YouTube app, can I put that in there as well? I think that's one thing that we haven't seen as much. I do believe folders will help with that sort of shit, so you don't just have to scroll. I mean, there was some sort of media section on the PS4, wasn't there, or something, where I can remember going across and going down to find all of the apps for watching content. But yeah, I agree. Folders is something that hasn't been shown. It is something that I do feel is kind of needed, because this I always want to use the word Metro, even though it was a horrible operating system. Windows Metro operating system was one of the first ones to use this big sort of tiled. This is your thing that you need to click on, like that sort of OS. Windows Metro was one of the first ones to do that. Did it horribly badly, but there was something in that, which is why we are kind of moving towards that. It's just, if you have a tile for everything you have installed, if you then have a 1 terabyte hard drive and then a 2 terabyte PCIe SSD extension. Actually, no, 1 terabyte SSD plus a 2 terabyte SSD expansion, and maybe a hard drive as well. You suddenly have a lot of potential for tiles there. So I do like the idea of having folders sorting them. I'm on board for that. Gary says, I love the UI on the PS5. It looks clean and modern, and most importantly, very quick. I mean, that was a big thing. One of the things in the article mentions that the PlayStation Store is built into the console, and it's not something that it jumps out of, which is huge for me. Those kind of things you don't really notice as a user, or as a lay user particularly. You just see, oh, there's the store. It's another button that I click on, and it loads up. After about 6,000 weeks, you need the world's best internet connection, and even then, the store is probably going to load, and you'll get the big on sale now, FIFA 21, because it's usually a game like that image, and then it's like, all right, great, nice, and then you'll see these like little tiles that sometimes they're there when you begin, sometimes they have to pop in, sometimes you'll go in and you'll get the menu down the side, and then everything pops in, and that's because it's not part of the console experience. It's all feeding out somewhere external. So the fact that that has been incorporated from the beginning just kind of seems a no-brainer. I mean, as a business, surely your one avenue for taking money off people on the console is something that you would have factored in from the beginning, but yeah, it clearly wasn't. But it is now, so that's good. That's good. That will help with speeding up navigating, not just through the store. Obviously, as Gary mentions, everything else does have a little bit more pace on it. The zip, the way that they move through all of the menu systems. Let me jump back up. So, can I find...
Obviously, as I explained before, I've not seen the entire thing, but I don't know whether or not he would have touched on it. So, if anyone in the chat can help us out, that would be great. But do you get the picture-in-picture? So if I wanted to watch, because this is something that I seen on the Xbox, which I thought was really cool. If I'm playing on the Xbox, I'm talking about the Xbox One here now, not the new one. If I was playing on the Xbox One and I wanted to watch a Twitch stream, I was able to, like, was it called the snap feature, where you could snap it to the right-hand side of the screen?
TV.
So I could watch
TV.
Yeah. So if I was playing PES, I could watch Graham play PUBG in the top right-hand corner or something like that. That was pretty cool. Do we have the ability to do that on the new PlayStation?
We do. I'll see if I can jump to the specific section. So this bit here that's on the screen, I'll pause it here now. So this bit here on the side is currently at the moment looking at the activities. So this game that he's playing, Sackboys, Mr. Drake, hey, Barry and Drake, thank you very much for the raid. Sadly, I'm not on the screen, so you don't get to see the fact that you just made my room disco, but we appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you very much, dude. How's Conqueror's Blade been? I'm just going to guess that that's what we're playing, because I always do, but hopefully it's been good. So yeah, this on the screen, this is an activity. So I can go into Sackboy, A Big Adventure, and go, actually, I'm 33% of the way through. Okay, I can find the monk robes. That's an activity. It's basically an in-game challenge. Not necessarily the achievements and trophies, but challenges for progress within the game. And it's cool because it gives you a list of objectives, and it gives you, at the bottom, you can just about see it behind the play bar, a time. So that, okay, this are the objectives, and to do this sort of stuff, you're looking at about 10 minutes. So all of those websites, like how long to complete or whatever, you're all out of business now, because it's going to happen within the PlayStation. So unlucky! But yeah, these little bits in there, so that pops up. You get that kind of thing on the side, and it's in that sort of frame that it pops up. I'll see if I can find where the video share. Is that it?
Well, yeah, that's the one I'm watching, but it looks like it's just somebody else's console. It's around the 621 mark.
So 627. If you click on that, you can see that you have the option of picture in picture or pin to side. So that's how you can. So he's got picture in picture, and it basically snaps it. So you can choose to have it anywhere on the edge of the screen, like we were doing picture in picture in the ICU studio. Top left, bottom left, middle left, top, middle, bottom kind of thing. So you can choose.
What is it that the snap there?
That's not a snap. That is Russell Walters, the name that was on the screen. That's him. If you jump to 608, it says at the top of the screen, Russell Walters started share screen. What's share screen? So once he clicks on that, the guy in the game, the guy who's playing the game, is playing Sackboy. Russell Walters is playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. So
they're playing at the same time. I mean, like, could you watch video on demand? So forget about if it's Twitch. If I was playing, I don't know, it could be anything. If I was playing football,
I thought you meant just shared screens.
No. Yeah, so the sharing screen thing, yeah, that's fine. But if I was playing PES and you was streaming PUBG, and I thought, you know what, I can put Graham on rather than if I'm on the big TV downstairs, I'm not at my station here where I've got my 2 monitors, and I wanted to watch you play PUBG, I can just snap your Twitch stream to the top right hand corner of the.
I mean, that sounds.
Because Xbox did it on the Xbox One.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be a no-brainer if you can run through the network. So you've got to feel share screen is more intensive because you're not just sharing one feed output. That's going through a network, and it will. You've got all of the systems passing that through, so you kind of feel that's got to be more intensive, especially if it's 4K gameplay. If you're just watching 1080 60 stream on Twitch, surely that would work. But then again, it does not mention that sort of data feed in this video, so I would hope so, but I'm not sure.
The share screen thing's cool, isn't it? Like, if me and you are both stuck on a little bit, we can just share each other's screens and then we can get past a bit. If either of us have done it, that's cool. Well, let's step it up, baby. Let's move it on to the next one. If I want to watch a podcast or something like that, have the ability to.
What sort of podcasts would you be watching, Bib? I mean, is there any out there that come to mind?
Yeah, so there's a Rick Shields golfing one. That's a particular one. But if you want to know about video game news, then you can just watch Scoop every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. Can't emphasize you know.
Just want to shout out Rick Shields as well for that sponsored ad placement there. You are welcome.
I wish if Rick Shields could send over a Titleist driver or this TaylorMade Sim, I've been very much grateful.
It's not Titleist, it's Titleast, actually. We've had this conversation before. Titleast. Jumping back into the chat, this looks ace, says Asim. Love the ability to play something different to a friend, be chatting and watching each other's gameplay. That is really cool. That's like couch co-op, but not necessarily couch co-op in that sort of sense.
I've got a better idea.
No, you didn't. It's like me sat on.
It's a genuine good idea.
Sat on the PS4. Bibby sat next to me playing his Vita or playing PUBG Mobile or whatever, playing different games but in the same sort of environment and still being able to share that experience. That's pretty cool. But what's the big idea?
So, I'm gonna put this into PUBG terms. So me and you are playing duos, ripping it up.
Obviously,
but I can't see where you are. I can now see where you are, so we can both see where each other are in the game. So if you're hiding behind cover one side, I'm like, where the fuck are you looking at? And you're like, I'm pinging it, and I'm like, I can't see you ping, mate, but I can see your screen of where you're pinging. Do you know what I mean? It's just making it's making the squad games that little bit more communicated. The communication wouldn't need to be as good because I'll be able to see exactly what you see.
That stuff is quite useful, to be fair, because my mate Martin, when he was home from the army, we played PUBG duos on PS4 in this room. So I was using this screen, Martin was using this screen, and I'm like, here, ping, because he's new to the game. He's like, I don't know what you mean. So I just leaned over and pointed at his screen. There. Oh yeah, nice. And
that is why couch co-op will never be beaten, ladies and
gentlemen. How are you, gentlemen? Hair Crocodile, welcome in, dude. Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Spike says, just press the share button on the clip. That must be an older comment. Scrat has trolled? Chat has scrolled. Nice. Good morning, Scrat. Or chats, whatever. I like the hints and tips feature too, but we'll be interested to see if all third parties use it. I mean, that's the key thing I was thinking with that. So the bit that I showed on screen, I won't find it, but the bit in Sackboy where it was like, find the wizard's robes achievement, activity, whatever they're called. That's nice, and there's all sorts of things, and the PlayStation did say that they can help that in-game. So if you're looking for one specific thing, say if it's a cassette on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and you don't know where it is, Activision could build in a little video or a little screenshot that shows you where it is or shows you how to get there. So if you think, oh fuck, I want to see this, I want to figure out how to get that cassette, or I want to know how to beat this boss or whatever. After a while, 10, 12 tries, you pause your game, you whip out your phone, you go to YouTube and you type in sort of stuff. And the kind of thing that they said that stuff is there to avoid is, one, breaking you out of the game and losing your time, but two, also avoiding spoilers, because you might type in The Last of Us final boss and then just instantly see game-breaking spoiler, and it's like, fuck, I didn't want that. I'm 5 minutes away from that. So yeah, that is really cool. But that needs publishers to be on that. And if publishers aren't doing that for Xbox as well, it's not a universal tick sheet. This needs to be done. So it might get missed or might not be used fully. So it is cool. It's a really good feature in terms of keeping you in the game, not having to break out, not having to jump on YouTube or find how-tos or whatever. The game will show you, but the publishers need to be backing that. So it's a cool addition if it gets used. Morning, Pidge. Hey, I don't know if you're still here. It's been a while since we're at that point in chat, but thank you. Hey, welcome in. Okay. Do you know what? I don't know what the conversation is between Asim and Spike, but I'll jump past. Okay, interesting. Also, that store is built into the system UI. Hopefully that speeds things up. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm glad that they did that on PS5, as the store on PS4 is so damn slow and sluggish. 100%. Nerd alert. Metro was the UI, not the OS. Well, that's actually what I meant. If I said OS, but yeah, I was talking about the user interface. I was talking about the tiles, but yeah, there you go. You'd think that there'd be the ability to group in folders as you can on PS4. If not, a bit of a backward step. Yeah. I mean, it could be. There was obviously the caveat that this is a pre-production demo, so there could be glitches and bugs and so on. It might not be finished. But one of the things that you tend to get always with a jump ahead, it could be a game jumping onto a new engine. It could be a game jumping onto a new generation, or a console being a new generation. There's always something fine-tuned that was added like halfway through the last gen or so on that just gets missed off, and people are like, why didn't you bring that over? And it's like, fuck! And it's one of the first things that gets added in the patch, so that something like that could be that, oh shit, yeah, we didn't bring folders. Why didn't you bring folders? I was too busy, oh fuck, oh okay, we'll put it in version 1.01 or whatever. So yeah, if it's not there, it'll probably come along soon, I imagine. Gary says, yeah, I reckon you can do folders, but the reason they didn't show that is that they're doing more of these videos over the coming weeks before the PS5 launch and are holding it back so they can show it at a later date. I mean, there is the potential for that. I mean, I was kind of umming and ahhing. Did this video come out because they wanted to show us the UX? I kind of thought maybe PlayStation are holding back on the UX, in terms of not holding back, but they just haven't thought of delivering. Everyone's like, we haven't seen what it looks like. We've seen the Xbox UI. Why haven't we seen the PlayStation UI? And maybe with PlayStation, we're just like, oh, fuck. I didn't even realise we need to do that. We're too busy fighting all the fires that Corona has given us and trying to get the consoles and shit out. We didn't even think about making a UI video. So there's also potential that this is just something they've just made. And they don't have plans for others. I mean, hopefully we do get to see more. Hopefully we get more intrinsics. But the fact that this isn't made on a final version kind of makes me feel like, at this point, we're a month away from the consoles launching. Well, at least in America, we're almost a month away from consoles launching in the EU. You'd have a final version of the store ready and the game ready, or the console ready, the UI ready. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll get a final version, but that caveat in there of this wasn't finished, filmed on the final edition, makes me kind of feel like they're not going to add more. But we could see. Howdy lads, says Mr. Drake. Hey, it was going well. It's going well. Season 5 is pretty sweet. Nice. Well, do you know what? Keep enjoying. Yeah, fair point. If not, we're right. 2 meters apart with masks on outside. Just not in Greater Manchester, potentially. We will see. I don't know. this activities thing could be useful for things like foot, where you have objectives and so on to earn rewards. There's all sorts of stuff in it as well. Like anyone that is a trophy hunter, that could be useful for all of that. You've got to feel that activities, the way they showed it in there, wasn't necessarily geared towards trophies and achievements. It was more in-game bits. If you want to tick off the in-game missions, not necessarily the PSN-related trophy system, but you definitely think, as a minimum, if you're putting a trophy list in your game, you will have activities linked towards that. That's where you could do it as a minimum. But if you are playing the game seriously and it's a first-party PlayStation game, like The Last of Us or whatever, you'll have collect on Uncharted, collect all of the shiny little things that are in every room as you go through. You'll have little bits that showing you where every one of those is, and the fact that you can jump into the game at those points to do those challenges as well. I mean, it does add a lot more. Yeah, genuinely love this feature, says Mr. T. That's raised the question. If you can see your mate's screen, wouldn't that open up options for cheating? Ooh.
A very good shout.
Like, if you can see your mate's screen and he has a better view of someone in PUBG, you'll essentially get two sets of eyes rather than having to communicate. Good point. Very good point. Asim says, also the feature that points you to activities in games and how much I've left to do, including the time. Imagine Demon Souls, it would show something like, mate, this is going to take you ages, just give up. It's not worth it. I mean, seeing as you died 20 times last time, nope. But back to the screen sharing thing, Spike says, see, I would see that as cheating. I mean, imagine being in the gulag and your mate is upstairs looking down. It now gives you a clear advantage that you shouldn't have. Yeah, that's good.
Gulag thing's been there for ages, though, isn't it?
Ish.
So, like, you can, like, I've always been able to look down and see if I'm in there with my friends.
Yeah, I mean, you don't always get put in the same gulag, but yeah, it depends on, like, number of people, because effectively there's one gulag, but there can be multiple versions of it at that same point in time, depending on how many people die. So you might get put in a different gulag and not be able to offer any spectator like hints to your teammates. But yeah, he's going down the right. He's going down the right. Fuck, I meant his right. Sorry, my bad. No. But yeah, if you can just see that stuff, for something like the gulag, I mean, I completely appreciate the example that you're giving. The sentiment, the gulag example, because it can be so quick, might not be the best use. But I understand completely what you're getting. You could give someone a POV that they aren't entitled to have in game, which is cheating, which is why stream sniping is cheating. People will say it's soft cheating, stream sniping in certain games, using information that you don't have readily available to you in game. So using something from outside of the game that you shouldn't have your hands on or your eyes on is cheating. So yeah, it definitely does open potential for that. Especially, I mean, slower playing games in particular, that's going to be bad because yeah, you've got an extra viewpoint there. Imagine games as well where if you die you get free cam, then that's just like, well, go take me over there and let me have a look at that dude, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Still listening, says Pidge. Hey. Games that have online multiplayer probably will either block stuff like that or have some sort of security settings to stop that from happening. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised because they also have the feature that, say if I clip a spoiler moment, we'll go back to The Last of Us when I was talking about the last mission, the last boss, the last bit of story. If I clip that video and throw that into a group chat with my friends, or as we all get messages off random knobheads on PlayStation, what if some knobhead just plays The Last of Us on launch day, gets it early and just clips the end and sends it to anyone he can find on his friends list? Some people will open that up and just be spoiler, and it's like, fuck. Whereas they have built a function in that will warn you if this is from a game that you haven't played or is from a game that PlayStation deems could be something that's spoiling, you will get hit with could contain spoilers, you might not want to view this bit. So if they can do that, then maybe they can have something in there that can block out essentially stream snipe, that third person perspective viewpoint that you shouldn't have. I also think it would force game developers to have to change mechanics otherwise. The hints and tips thing, this could be a nice way of third parties to do additional work with or highlight influencer / content creator work. Using Pez as an example, someone looking how to do something in my club could link to Pez video. 100%. I mean, that's kind of where it ties in. And even if it's not a PEZEP video, it could be a video that has been created by SEP. Konami could go to SEP and say, do you know what? We want to explain how to use advanced controls. Most people in the PES community know how to use advanced controls, but someone new to the game will never know. They never look at it. They see advanced and they go, "Nah, you're alright, it's not for me. I'm still learning the game." And they don't realise that that can change dramatically the way that you play, the way that your players act. For those that don't know, advanced controls could be like play tiki-taka football like Barcelona, or gegenpress defensively like Jurgen Klopp's teams, or stick to the flanks or whatever. And that sort of stuff, either it links to a SEP video, or they could collaborate and say, "Hi guys, this is SEP, just want to explain to you that blah, 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 blah." And that sort of stuff could be embedded into it. So, I mean, you probably won't see that with major titles at that level of recorded for purpose, but you could see it with indie titles. Indie titles absolutely could feature and commission influencers to have stuff in game. But yeah, if not, reaching out to community stuff is wonderful. The only thing I would say on that actually is if you reach out to influencers, and not using SEP as an example for this, but say if you reach out to an influencer that is then included in a scandal, there will need to be a way for developers to change those links if that is the case. So say if an influencer, like the Doc, for example, if he was in a Twitch video, Twitch made a game and the Doc was the guy that explained it, and then they boot him from Twitch, they would need to find a way to get rid of that quickly. So there will, need to be those sort of game updates that fixes that. Or just internal, like, link updates or whatever. Spike says, "You know what I want?" Here we go. The ability to make a folder and choose an image as the folder image. So I make an FPS folder and I can make an image that says FPS on it and import that to my system and use that as my folder image. I love being organised. But you'll be able to see your mate's screen, so you won't even need to call anything out. It always gives peak advantage. I mean, it depends. It depends as well. I mean, in slower games, it's definitely something. But there will be some sort of latency from what happens on their screen to your screen, even if it's only a second. Some games, that could be more than enough to make it, like, irrelevant. Because not only is it a second for it to hit your machine, then there's that half a second for you to compute it and then start to react to it. It could be out of date. But yeah, the point is there's still an advantage there. Salty Dog, good morning. I'm only basic settings, as Mike Bassett says. 442. Hey, no wrong with that. True. I just hope Sony have thought about how these features actually impact game development. I'm sure they will have done. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff around that in terms of it's hard to be on top of people's creativity. Quite a lot of stuff we just figure out as we go in the world. Even in the most professional worlds, a lot of stuff we figure out as we go, because we might have all sat down and had discussion groups and had focus groups and thought about all this sort of stuff, and it could just be someone outside that discussion that just goes, "Actually, you realise that opens things up for cheating," and they could be like, "How have we missed that through all this time?" It's so easily done. So there is the potential for it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see VGC or someone saying how PlayStation's new share function is enabling cheating or whatever articles in the next few months, but that's the stuff that we will combat over time. Bibby looks so angry. Has he not had brekkie yet? Is he hungry? He has. This
is my resting bitch face. I've had all brand this morning.
That's why he looks so angry. Anyway, let's move ahead. So we've had a look at the PlayStation software. Let's move to the other side of the console war. It's not a war. Don't make it a war. God. As sticking with VGC, Tom Ivan says, Microsoft has revealed the Xbox Series X/S software launch lineup. 30 titles will be available on day one, including 20 which support smart delivery. So Microsoft has revealed the Xbox Series X/S launch lineup. On Thursday, Platform Holder published a list of 30 games which it says have been optimized for Xbox Series X/S at launch. It includes 20 titles that support smart delivery, which lets players buy a game once and play it across Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Quote within the article says, the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S will launch with 30 new games playable day one, 20 of them with smart delivery that are upgraded automatically, and thousands of backward compatible titles across 4 generations, Microsoft said. Xbox Series X/S launch games Do you know what? I will read through them. I know it's an exhaustive list of 30, but just for those that can't see on audio services, so these are the launch games. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which has smart delivery. Borderlands 3, smart delivery. Bright Memory 1.0. Cuisine Royale. Ooh.
Yes!
Did not know that one, which has smart delivery. Dead by Daylight, Xbox Game Pass Plus, smart delivery. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Dirt 5, which has smart delivery. Enlisted, Evergate, The Falconeer, smart delivery. Fortnite, Forza Horizon 4, which has Xbox Game Pass and smart delivery. Gears 5, Gears Tactics, and Grounded, all on Game Pass with smart delivery. King Oddball, smart delivery. Maneater, smart delivery. Manifold Garden, smart delivery. Then we have NBA 2K21, Observer, System Redux, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which has Xbox Game Pass and smart delivery. Planet Coaster, smart delivery. Sea of Thieves, Tetris Effect, and The Tourist, all with Game Pass and smart delivery. War Thunder, smart delivery. Warhammer, Chaos Bay and Slayer Edition. Watch Dogs Legion, smart delivery. WRC 9 FIA World Rally Championship on smart delivery. Yakuza Like a Dragon and Yes Your Grace, both with smart delivery. So big old list. I mean, most of it you probably have heard of or seen before. I mean, Cuisine Royale was completely new to me. I didn't know that was coming to Series X. But anyway, it continued. Looking forward to this holiday. There will be more incredible games coming to the Xbox Series X and Series S before the end of the year, including Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War launching November 13th, Destiny 2 Beyond Light launching November 10th, and optimized for Xbox Series X and S on December 8th, and Xbox console launch exclusive The Medium on December 10th. When Cyberpunk 2077 launches on November 19th, it will look and play best on our next-gen consoles and take advantage of smart delivery technology, giving fans the best version for whatever Xbox console you own even. Bib, big old list. Thoughts?
It's a big old list. It's a decent enough list. It looks like there's something for everyone there. From your standpoint, there's still no PUBG there.
Yeah.
Considering that it came to console first on Xbox, you thought that potentially they may have had another deal in the works. But like I say, it's reached critical mass now. But would there have been a new generation of gamers that would have potentially picked this up? Because the list is good. The list is a good list, and it's quite a chunky list for day one stuff. But if there's someone else is looking for something other than Fortnite as a battle royale, Cuisine Royale is the only other one for them there.
I mean, just looking back through, in terms of shooters, there was... What was that? What was the game that we watched that was made by one dude on the first Xbox? Was it Bright Memory? Maybe it was. Bright Memory 1.0. So Bright Memory is like the Battlefield-y looking shooter. But yeah, there is... I mean, obviously Call of Duty is following... but you're kind of looking at that list and going, okay, where's the Battlefield? Where's the Call of Duty? Where's the PUBGs and things like that? So there is kind of a little bit of disconnect there. But part of me thinks on that, is that just a case of unannouncements or brands are still controlling their own announcements? So PUBG hasn't been announced. That's because PUBG is a last generation game. When you say last generation, do you mean this generation or last generation? Because, yeah, I mean, PUBG hasn't been announced. That's because PUBG Corp are still controlling their own brand. They are delivering a shitload. As we featured yesterday, that new Paramo map, or Paramo, however you pronounce it. Paramo. That's how it's said in the trailer, Paramo. So that's how I keep wanting to say it, but I'm like, Paramo. Paramo, yeah, exactly. I'm just on the wind up, and I was on the wind up as well, saying, like, if you're saying it's last gen, I was like, do you mean this gen? Because this gen is almost last gen, but it could be. But anyway, yeah, they haven't controlled their own messaging yet, in terms of, well, they have controlled it, but they haven't had anything outward yet. And I watched one of the PUBG console community guy, Andy MH5. He's a Twitch streamer. And he always gets messages in his chat. So, and it's people that are asking obvious questions like, is it coming out on the PS5? Because I'm getting a PS5. Will I be able to play it in day one? or they're asking charged questions, and it's like, so when I've got my PS5, like, will my PS4 version be able to play on the PS5, or will there be an update for it? And he's like, well, we haven't mentioned anything, so I can't answer that in any way, shape, or form. But the fact that he can't answer that is, I mean, I know he is not saying it's coming or it's not coming or whatever. He's literally saying there's no answer to that. But it's kind of hard. The only thing you can say to that is we can't respond to those questions. Because, not that he has said anything, but you almost, by not flat out going, yeah, it's not happening, that's almost saying it's happening, but we're just not saying when or what or how or at launch or later on, or if it's going to be a special version or whatever. So yeah, I fully believe it will be happening, not even because of what he said, just because of how big the game is still. Whether it happens at launch, I'm not entirely sure about. I would hope so, with the amount of resources that the money that PUBG has earned could purchase. You'd feel that they should have themselves set. That said, with the amount of resources that PUBG could purchase, with the amount of money it's earned, you'd feel that that you'd be able to step over little nubbins in the road, and you can't do that in the game, so whatever. So yeah.
There is something else that goes alongside this as well. Obviously, we have been told, from a PlayStation standpoint anyway, and you think from a Game Pass and backwards compatibility standpoint, that the games that we have, I mean, this is the reason why I'm going to the PlayStation 5 and not really looking at the Xbox, because my digital catalogue of PlayStation 4 games is ever growing, especially with the free games that we get given every single month. So we will have games to play. I mean, a lot of these games aren't new that are in this list that are able to be playing day one. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Bright Memory is, Borderlands 3, I'm still yet to play or own. So that will be new for me eventually when I get around to playing it. Devil May Cry 5, old.
Tetris, old.
Yeah, but there is a lot of old games there that do have the smart delivery feature where they're able to play the older gen the games into the new gen ones, and that's hopefully what we're going to be expecting for the PlayStation one. I want to be able to just dip into my PlayStation library and be able to install. So Pez is obviously going to work, let's face it. But the other games that I may have that I haven't played around, Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, are those games going to be? Am I going to be able to play my Resident Evil 4 on my PlayStation 5? Are those games that are in my library that said 99% compatible? What are they? If someone could if they could just list those games that are compatible, that they're tried and tested on the website, because there is a wiki on there for like Xbox backwards compatible, so they'll take the oldest games from the original Xbox and move them all the way up to the Xbox One, what's compatible and what works. If we can get something like that before the console comes out, that'll be fantastic. But I've seen that Asim's comment in there saying big one missing it. That is FIFA 21. Whatever we think, the positive and negatives, it's a system seller. Might be talking taking 1-on-1 and getting 5, but it seems FIFA 21 next gen upgrade will come later unless I'm missing something. I'm surprised it's not in this list.
Yeah, this I think is also potentially PR related. Just before we do go on, Salty Dog, thank you very much for the 2 month, dude. Very, very much appreciate it. Cheers, dude.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
I'm pleased to see a boxing game for next gen. Not had one for 10 years. Do we have a boxing game? Have I missed this?
No, there was one. There was one that was in the works, wasn't there? So I've seen stuff going around on Twitter where people are being scanned in. I think it's an indie studio that's working on it. I don't think it's a fight night. I'm pretty sure it's an indie studio that's working on it.
I mean, I completely on board. I've said a few times I loved Fight Nights. I peaked a little early in terms of Fight Night Round 3 was god tier for me, and that was like early 360 days. I played a little bit of Champion, but didn't own it, so I can't really say for that. But yeah, I would love a boxing game. There's nothing better than hitting a decent combo and then absolutely smashing a haymaker on boxing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd take that. Jumping back into what Bibby was saying though, so as him talking about FIFA being missing, it's confirmed to be coming, yes, but seems like not for launch. FIFA 21, that is big miss for both consoles on launch, unless of course they're coming out with PS5 launch. I mean, that's the thing. It could be a PR thing. It could be a case of EA want to own their own messaging and want to own it closer to launch. But want to get the PS4 version out of the way first. So maybe they've just had it launch already because they knew that their launch was going to happen before the consoles came out. So they've allowed the launch stuff to happen. They allowed everyone to buy in. They've allowed everyone to do everything. And then almost relaunch but not necessarily with the aim of selling more games, because most people that play FIFA would buy it straight away. Obviously, I say that's bullshit, actually. Not most people that buy FIFA would buy it straight away. Most people that play FIFA every day buy it straight away. People obviously buy FIFA all the way through the year because it stays in the charts. Clearly, Christmas #1 fairly often. So yeah, maybe they are going for a relaunch thing, but because they haven't announced that, Xbox and PlayStation might be sat there going, okay, we know that's going to hit this list, but EA have said under no circumstances do I talk about this because it's not been announced. So maybe it's just one of those things. I'd be surprised because, like you say, big loss for FIFA not to be available on either console at launch. That's a big console seller, 100%. I mean, even to the point where you may have seen it over the weekend in your own local areas, but over the weekend on the radio, I think it was Smith's. I was out in the car and I heard Smythe's Toys, nice one. Smith's Toys radio advert trying to sell Xbox Series S consoles with FIFA 21. So that is a console seller that can sell the lower end of the spectrum console at the end of a generation. That's how good it is that they can put it on adverts to sell it. So yeah, it is definitely a loss for a new in-demand console. So we'll see. I do wonder if PUBG will be announced next year as a PUBG 2 or something. FIFA 21 is confirmed, but I imagine the whole upgrade maybe. It's gone off screen. Maybe FIFA 22 thing as they put out a new game this year, so the dev team must have been busy with COVID. I mean, I'm not sure we're ready for PUBG 2 yet. I would like a PUBG 2. I do feel that the game kind of needs that. They are adding a lot of content to it, which is wonderful. The game is very, very heavily supported. There's new season passes, new content, new maps, new vehicles, new functions, new ways to play, which is all really good for someone that's invested in the game. But the people that are invested in the game that have played it previously ignore the issues that are in it. And the only way you can get everyone that's already played it and given up on it back is to get rid of those issues. And that's like the dodgy player mechanics and stuff. I've heard conversations about that stuff is being worked on for the current game. So maybe they're looking to fix that. But yeah, I'm not sure. Spy also says, yeah, I agree. I just think with Konami not even bringing a new game out, so to speak, they know they can take the time. I mean, PES isn't going to go next gen until next year, so they're already one up on the competition. Gary says, I have a feeling that FIFA 21 next gen update is graphical and nothing else due to the current situation, limiting dev time, etc. I wouldn't be surprised. Like a visual fidelity patch that offers ray tracing ability and so on like that. Most of the games will be better just from being on a better system. If you play a game on a PC that can manage it, fine. You play a game on a fucking NASA PC and it will just run much smoother. And I think that's kind of the difference. All games will be better on the next gen, and developers will spend most of the time making use of that. But yeah, on top of that, we'll just get the visual fidelity stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. I agree both there. I think they just said holiday 2020 for the FIFA update. I mean, that could be now. I mean, holiday 2020 is console release time, so it could still come alongside that. If by the 19th we haven't started to get some sort of signs about it, then yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's December, but yeah. It's okay. NBA 2K21 will pick up the slack. Hey, you know that. You know what doesn't surprise me? GTA 5 on next gen. I honestly think at this point Rockstar are just trying to beat Skyrim for most consoles to have their game. And sales. They want to get most sold game ever as well, don't they? They're closing in on that, so that wouldn't surprise me. Once they gave it away free on Game Pass for a while, and then free on the Epic Games Store, everyone's like, well, that's it. They're never going to sell any more copies of that game. Bring it out in a new generation. Suddenly everyone's like, fuck, I'll buy another copy of that game. So, yeah, potentially. If they release it on the Switch, then you're definitely on something. Well, there you go. That'll come after. I'm waiting for GTA 5 Nintendo DS. I'm waiting for GTA 5 Samsung Fridge Edition. That's what I'm waiting for. Anyway, let's move ahead. Speaking of new games, let's fly through a final couple of stories so we can get set for Masters of the League. This one does have a little bit of a negative, though, so from positivity to negativity, as this was written by Tom Phillips for Eurogamer. Sega, quote in the title, didn't mean to dredge up painful memories by releasing Golden Axed which is a game made during crunch. Steam listing edited to remove slur. So into the article. Last night, Sega celebrated its 60th anniversary with a range of freebies for fans, including a long-lost and unfinished Golden Axe prototype. Today, Sega has issued a statement on this cancelled prototype, which it jokingly renamed Golden Axed, with a D, after a heartfelt and widely shared Twitter thread by Tim Dawson, one of the project's key staff. Dawson refuted Sega's suggestion that the company had reached out to the project's original development team before releasing the prototype, described crunching on the project for 14-hour days, and branded the time period as a personal nexus of nightmare hours, inept management, industry realizations, and heroics achieved with a small team under unreasonable conditions. Whew. It's an odd feeling to see it surface 8 years later without context, credits, and with a joke title sequence, Dawson continued. It doesn't look like the reference in it, so I'll read the tweet. So the tweet from Tim Dawson, at Ironic Account, said, I felt dead inside, not just because of a couple of long 7-day work weeks and the start of RSI, which is repetitive strain injury, in my right arm that would go on to jeopardize the development of at Android Cactus, another title he's developed, but things I had no trust... but because I had no trust left in the people who ran things. Last night, Sega described Golden Axe on its Steam page with the warning, maybe janky, maybe buggy, maybe an artifact of its time. Quoting this, Dawson replied, "Go fuck yourself, parasites." Sega Europe reached out to former members of the Golden Axe Reborn dev team to produce this prototype of the game for Steam as part of our 60th anniversary celebrations, a Sega spokesperson told Eurogamer today. We wanted to bring the work of the developers at the time to light and celebrate it as part of our history, something we didn't get the chance to do first time around. We certainly didn't mean to dredge up painful memories for Mr. Dawson and his former colleagues or appear disrespectful. We've removed the line from the Steam copy that could have been taken as a slur in the development and would like to reassure everyone that it was intended as a comment on the build we had ported to PC, not the quality of the original work. We're hoping lots of fans play the prototype and I can appreciate the work he and his colleagues put into developing this prototype. Did anyone read this? Did you all read this article? This Twitch thread, Twitter thread. If you didn't, basically Tim Dawson says at that time they were kind of given an unrealistic task of make a Golden Axe game now. So they built a prototype in no time, putting in late nights, long shifts, evenings, weekends, and had really, really shit management. People that like that, the kind of manager that will just play a game on his mobile phone and come in and go, I've got some insights and knowledge that's going to change everything and be better than you've already been doing. It's like, mate, I'm an expert. I've been building this fucking thing for weeks now, constantly. And you've played one mobile game on a train on your commute and think you're going to change the world? That's not how it works. Anyway, went through all of that shit, presenting it to the board, who just basically said, it's shit, we don't like it, rip it apart, fuck it, nah, this is never going to be anything. Leaving those meetings and thinking, do you know what, fuck you all, I'm sticking to my guns, and I'm working ahead with his plans to then present it at the end and go, actually, this is much better, this is amazing, we like where this has gone. And he's like, yeah, this is exactly the same thing that I presented you, just not a prototype, just a bit more substantial. So yeah, it sounded like a really toxic, negative environment where they were asking for the earth and giving nothing but criticism. So to deliver a game that was made in that and take the credit for it, and also to say that they reached out to the development team and the game was released with their what's the word, their approval maybe, and not reaching out to someone that was key in that sort of stuff, or not reaching out to the whole team, or not even letting the team know that this kind of thing is coming. Whilst it might be a celebration as they've said it, it's absolutely it's a shit move. It's proper shit, that.
Yeah.
Spike says, imagine putting so much love into something only to see a big company take the piss out of it. It's quite sad. It is. Ads, good morning. Ads there in the chat using one of the exclusive Twitch subscriber emotes, which sounds a little bit like this.
This is the first time we've been an hour and 10 minutes and I'm having to do this, but hello!
Hey, he's just here for a double header of Master of the League. That's what it is. We know.
Yeah, that's right.
This must happen many times through the industry. Probably. To be honest, Sega can't say anything about a game being janky and buggy. Just look at the majority of 3D Sonic games. Ouch. Spike says, I can imagine. So, I mean, look at how E.T. was rushed and ended up becoming the worst game of all time. Lots of people laugh at it, but I think the bloke who made that did it in next to no time under a massive amount of pressure. In that respect, it was a feat to be able to even make the game in time. I mean, it wasn't even a finished game. That's the point. It mentions it being a prototype. He was being judged on it being a finished game. And this was literally something that him and a small team of people made in no time as a prototype to demonstrate what the game should be. So, yeah, it was a prototype under crunch, and they've released that prototype as just a celebration, and it's like, it's not a celebration. You have to understand what blood, sweat and tears went into making that and resulted off that, or didn't result off that, and you've called it Golden Axed. I mean, that's just shit in itself. You've made a Golden Axe game that you broke yourself to make, they didn't run with, and then they released it 20 years later without your approval and called it Axed. They make a joke about the fact that they killed something that you put so much effort into it. Aha! Golden Axe! We killed it! It got axed and we're going to release it! No, fuck off, mate. You miss it. Read the room, for fuck's sake. So, yeah, there is that.
I'd love to have a Golden Axe game in this style. I mean, a Golden Axe was a phenomenal game, and I think I've referenced it a few times. This is one of the games that I grew up playing with my granddad on a 2-player game. This, like Streets of Rage, all fantastic games. So I would love to have a newer game like this in this style. I think to say that this is meant to be 9 years old, it still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, to say graphics have come a long way, it does look good still.
And for a prototype that was rushed with minimal staff, minimal input, and no time. Nice. Anyway, jumping ahead to the next story. Just before we do, a lot more respect to the devs of this Golden Axe prototype than the shit show that was Sonic 06. It's okay, Konami released a broken game and called it a season update, and it's still not being updated. Kappa, edgy Spikey's edgy. Gary Clark says Golden Axe was such a classic. I used to love Golden Axe. Mega Drive bad boys. Anyway, next story, final story of the day is written by Don Peppiatt for VG247, says Resident Evil 8 producers reveal more story, enemy, and gameplay details. I mean, nobody really wants to give a shit about this. It's only fucking Resi or whatever. But yeah, whatever. Let's just go. I'm just gonna look at Bibby's face. There we go. Anyway, more details about Resident Evil 8's gameplay, plot, and enemies have been confirmed with the Japanese magazine Famitsu. I'm just picking up the pace because, running on a bit now. A key member of the Resident Evil online community, Alex Anil, has translated the key takeaways from the game's producers, Tsuyoshi Kanda and Peter Fabiano. There are some light spoilers below, so look away now if you want to go into the game as fresh as possible. Via the translated thread, Famitsu confirms Chris Redfield is responsible for bringing Ethan Winters to the titular village. The titular village Resident Evil 8 is set in. Ethan finds himself here, apparently against his will, after some time has passed. A sect of cult-like villagers are apparently featured in the game and employ the use of dangerous creatures to protect them. Excuse me. There is what appears to be a merchant in a trench coat. Classic! That'll sell items to Ethan on his journey through the spooky setting. Ethan's life will depend on this character in some way. The dangerous werewolf-like creatures spotted in the recent trailer, says below, but it's clearly not there, don't communicate with language, but do apparently have a sort of pack mentality and can wield weapons. Just to make them particularly deadly then. Resident Evil 8 is due to launch in 2021 for the PC, PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. There is currently no word on whether the game will arrive on current gen consoles. So, as our resident president, Babe, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there isn't that much going on with this, especially because it's in, the thread is obviously in English, but the thing that still baffles me the most is for anyone who's played any of the Resident Evils recently, they've changed the model of Chris Redfield again. So if you played Resident Evil 7, you'll see everyone was up in arms about what Chris Redfield looked like now. This Chris Redfield is a little bit more bulkier, shall we say. I can't remember which game this is pretty much more. This is what this is modelled more off. I think it's Resident Evil 5. But yeah, I'm again looking forward to it. I'm very interested to see what this paranormal stuff is, and where the direction that it leads to with the werewolves and shit. It kind of bums me out a little bit, but we've had zombie dogs before, and they was amazing. So yeah, it's very interesting to see where this is going to. Because at the end of it, shall I say this? Because I know a lot of people probably still haven't played it.
Maybe not. Maybe avoid spoilers.
Yeah. So something happens in Resident Evil 7, which is obviously where this alludes to, being sent to a village. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best to try and put this into words that doesn't spoil it for other people. Um, so I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes because this paranormal stuff was. So when Resident Evil 3 came out, they was looking to do Resident Evil 4, and they made a game like a prototype, shall we say, the Resident Evil 3.5, and it had the Hook Man, and it was Leon having paranormal dreams about ghosts. And I'm glad that they didn't go down that route because the game looked okay, but I don't think it would have suited the universe. So I'm very interested to see where this leads to because I don't think that this would. If you was to put a poll out for people who played Resident Evil and this was one of them, I don't think this would be top of the list. Put it that way of directions to go down. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from it. It could be an absolute rip. Who knows?
Just looking at the chat. Don't worry, baby. Just say similar things if when PUBG 2 is announced. It's all right. I was saying the same thing about PUBG when we were talking about it yesterday, so it's fine. It's fine. Spike says, imagine this. PUBG announced PUBG 2 with zombies, titled PUBG 2 Raccoon City. Moments later, Bibby and Graham are seen making out. Do you know what? Me and Bibby almost shared an embrace last year when this came out. So PUBG Mobile, boo! That's where the almost comes on. X Resident Evil 2. So Resident Evil 2 had a crossover stint in PUBG Mobile, as you can see there. Survive Till Dawn was the game mode, and you got like who is that guy? Is that Leon? Leon skins in the game. So that was like last year, like early last year, obviously, because it was. Or was it the year before? When did 2 come out? It wasn't last year, was it? It was last year. Yeah, it was last year. Last January.
Yeah, we've had a Resident Evil game the last 2 years, but yeah, it was Resident Evil 2.
So it was a little bit after that. I think it was February sort of time this came in, so just after the launch of Resi 2. So there was a crossover there. So it kind of has happened when PUBG Mobile was partnering with everything. Spike says, fast typing because I'm playing FIFA. See, fuck my life, rip. We appreciate the effort, Spike. I mean, I can't multitask, so I can't say shit. I didn't even see that. How many? 4 skins? Look at his face. He's already angry at thinking.
Not doing it again. Not doing it again. Bastards.
Anyway, let's wrap things up. So Resident Evil 8 is coming. We'll have potentially some paranormally theming sort of stuff. It was all quite vague. We do know there is werewolfy sort of stuff in there, and some of the other characters coming back. Maybe a bit of deceit. Who knows? All will tell in 2021 as Bibby streams it live on twitch.tv/icecreamuploads. Even if he doesn't want to, he's fucking doing it. We're going to make him. We're going to scare the shit out of him while he does it. Go mad!
I fucking go mad, mate.
So we are going to drop off. We'll be back in, 10-15 minutes-ish with Masters of the League. And reminder, it's a double header because we didn't have an episode on Wednesday due to COVID and shit like that. So we are having 6 episodes. We'll film 2 separate episodes. We'll split it up like we do anyway. We'll still stay live, but we'll split it up into 2 episodes just so we can chunk it up for YouTube. But that will follow this stream live right now. If you're watching this on demand, then the chances are the videos are probably up on YouTube already. So enjoy those. We are approaching the end of the season, so it'd be nice to have you guys cheering us on, seeing off some of our players as they approach the end of their ice cream career and getting ready for the arrival of Fyodor Chalov, and maybe a few more in the summer. We will see. But that is 10 or 15 minutes away. Before that, babe, is there anything else that you would like to say?
Yes, if you do see any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, then do get in contact with us. 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. Spoiler alert, it's at Ice Cream Uploads across them all. Very unique name, you'll find us. Second way, get into our Discord. There's a little section in there that says The Scoop. All we need you to do is drop in the URL and your thoughts and impressions. We will then give thoughts and impressions in the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
No time tomorrow.
Oh, yes, because it's Friday. On Monday.
On Monday, we will be back at 10 a.m.-ish. Thank you very much, Iceman, for the links. Unfortunately, chatbot is open in the studio, so everything is getting duplicated. I might ask Luke to kill that. I might not. We'll see. But yeah, 10 a.m.-ish. Anyway, Monday, that is when we'll be back. So that's it. Nice. Okay, yeah. We're going to disappear. We'll see you back here brightly and sprightly in about 10-15 minutes, something like that. Yeah, for Masters of the League. Nice. Ish. 100%. Till then, see you in a bit.